What is up, guys? This is Q&A number 27, and we haven't done a Q&A since like early May. So there are a lot of questions, so it may take a while depending how fast I talk and get through these and spend on each question. But let's get into it. The first set of questions comes from Logan Many. If Rock was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame next year, which he should, who out of these four should induct him? Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, or Mick Foley? Out of those four, I personally would like to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, just because that was like my favorite rivalry as a kid and of the Attitude Era. When you think of Rock Austin were like the two top guys. You know, they main evented, well, not main evented, but they highlighted 3 WrestleManias together, 15, 17, and 19. You know, they had just a great rivalry. And it's just the two names you think of. Like, those are the biggest guys. Sorry, Triple H. I know you're jealous, but those are the two guys. So out of those ones, I definitely say Stone Cold just because, you know, the friendship they have after all the things, the way they talk about each other on the DVDs and stuff. That's who I'd want to see. These questions are kind of old. Like I said, we haven't done one for May, so we'll just... Have you been watching the OTRS versus Wrestling Jesus feud, and who would you say is winning? Yes, we watched every single video. Don't really know who won. Whatever, it's over. That's old news now. Sorry. And do you think WWE should go back to single branded pay-per-views? It's kind of a mixed bag, I guess, because their roster really isn't deep enough to do that. Because, like, honestly, would you want to see a Smackdown branded pay-per-view? Like, would you pay your money to watch a pay-per-view where the only guy's on it? Like, and this is because if it was single branded, they'd have to stick to what, you know, so even though Punk and Cena have been appearing on it lately, they don't count. They're on Raw, really. So, you know, Bryan, Sheamus, Orton when he's not suspended. I mean, there's not much star power on SmackDown. So, I don't know. I don't know what I don't think I would be for that, but I don't know what they're going to do. Let's be honest. Heel Wolverine. What is your favorite thing about? What are your favorite things about being a smart? Mine is that when wrestlers do shoots, I can understand words like burying and stuff. Yeah, that's probably the big one. Just because, like, when you look back at Punk's promo, you know, when I watch it with my little cousins, they don't really understand everything. They just think he's out there talking. You know, they don't get all the behind the scenes stuff. So it wasn't as cool to them. But like we know he's not supposed to be saying these things. We know why he's not supposed to be saying these things, and we know what he's like getting across. Like when he talks about how Cena, he hates the idea that Cena is the best. Like, you know, he knows Cena's not the best wrestler, but they push him. You know, so stuff like that. I would have to agree with that. That's definitely up there. WWE G-Bag 24. Who could you see being the next jobbers in the future, holding the WWE World Heavyweight IC and US title? Whew. Jobbers that could... Hey, I'm down to see Heath Slater with the IC title. That dude is the greatest jobber of all time. That dude loves to lose. Like, every time you see him, it's just, oh, you just get annoyed. Man, I'm so down with Heath Slater's one of my favorite jobber, to be completely honest. I don't see any real jobbers getting up to the WWE World Heavyweight title. Like, I mean, Swagger's a jobber now. I could see him getting back to the US title at some point, obviously. Who else loses a lot nowadays? Yoshitatsu, I don't really see him going anywhere like that. Ezekiel Jackson. Trent Beretta. Tyler Rex. I don't know. There's not really a lot of guys I can think of getting up to the main titles. So, but hey, the one-man Southern Rock Band is one of the greatest jobbers of all time. So I'm down with that guy. Ragwire773. Who do you think sold more merchandise in the Attitude Era, The Rock or Stone Cold? Well, the Attitude Era was Stone Cold's. He was the guy. I mean, he was on news stations. He like transcended wrestling. It wasn't just he was getting featured on everything. You know, with the What shirts and the Austin 316 shirts and the foam middle fingers and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure The Rock sold a lot of stuff, but the Attitude Era was Austin's era. And The Rock kind of came up with him there towards the end after, Stone Cold kind of got hurt and The Rock rose up and then he was the guy and then Stone Cold came back and they were both the guy at 17. But I don't know the exact numbers, but I would guess Stone Cold. Francis W. 22. Do you like the Saw movies? No, I'm not trying to see creepy dudes cut people's fingers off. Did you like heel Stone Cold? I loved his theme music when he was heel. Oh yeah, it was by Disturbed. I loved heel Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not so much like when he was. How do I word this? Not so much like mean, heel Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the heel Stone Cold that would play the guitar and sing to Vince McMahon with Kurt Angle, and like before the whole invasion thing, and they're all talking, and it's Vince talking to Angle, Austin, Kane, Undertaker, Jericho, and someone else, and like I don't know, just the Stone Cold. There's just like the little annoying guy, like Vince McMahon be talking, like, we gotta go out there and win tonight, and we win tonight. Undertaker, Kane, and you just repeat. I don't know. I loved that Stone Cold Steve Austin. So yes, I would have to say that. If you could swap, and still same guy, Francis. Oh, sorry. Oh, forgot. The Rock's. If you could swap the Rock's finisher from the People's Elbow with any other superstar finisher, what would you choose? I feel like I want to see the Rock do the F5. I mean, it obviously looks more devastating with Brock Lesnar because he's humongous, but the Rock's pretty big now too. Okay, so I mean, I'd like to see him do the F5. That's one of my favorite ones. And last one from Francis: which superstar's theme do you think you could swap and still make work? For example, I think you could switch Dolph's and Cody's themes and they would fit. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, that's a good one actually. I could see those guys coming out. Well, Randy Orton came out to This Fire Burns one time. That's one of the high YouTube videos before Punk was. I don't know if it was before Punk was in it, but it always cracks me. It was just weird to see him coming out to that. Themes it could switch. Nowadays, let me. Oh man, no one else is coming out to Cena's theme. No one else is really coming out to Punk's theme. No one's coming out to like Triple H's, Orton's. I don't know. That's you have a pretty good one there. So we'll just stick with that one. Shooting Star Chaser. 2 questions. What was your favorite Randy Orton promo, and what was the worst botch you've ever seen? Well, the second question first is probably Psycho Sid breaking his leg, obviously. The worst botch I've ever seen, and the second botch I've ever seen is probably a Randy Orton promo. So, if that answers your first one, I don't know. I mean, back when he was working with Mick Foley, before hyping up their hardcore match, that was nuts, man. Actually, when I got Orton's DVD, I was tweeting about that match, and Mick Foley wrote back to me. He's like, "Hey, that's one of my favorite matches of all time." And I'm like, "Man, you got bloodied like a champ." So back when Orton was, doing that whole thing, his promos were good. Now, he is Randy Orton. The Rossi Bossy, 1987. What theme song would get a heel the best heel heat? I think Benoit's would get a lot of heat from the Smart Marks. I'm sure it would. I'm sure that would confuse a lot of people. Pretty sure if you played some JB, Justin Bieber, that would get heel heat because WWE fans are not down with the Biebs. I'm not one of them. I am down with the Biebs. Who's the best basketball player in the NBA today? Well, I'm going to be... Well, actually, no. I was going to say I'm going to be biased, but I'm not going to be biased. LeBron James. Because it's not like just because he's on the Heat. I mean, back when he was on Cleveland, I would tell you LeBron James is the best player. But let me tell you something. Kevin Durant is coming. Oh, is Kevin Durant coming? Man, Kevin Durant is wild. So let's just leave it at that. And who's the best ever, not including Jordan? Is that even like a logical question? That's like saying what's your favorite Disney movie, but you can't say The Lion King. Like, that doesn't make sense. Oh my god, there's so many good players. I personally am a big Magic Johnson guy. So, and again, I'm only 21. I haven't seen the old homies. So I didn't even see Magic that much. I mean, he's just recent enough that I've seen some of his stuff. So I'm going to say Magic Johnson. Also, what are your thoughts on the new up and comers on SmackDown? Millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. Love Damian Sandow. You're welcome. Cesaro, I know everyone, Cesaro, he's Claudio. Oh my gosh, we'll have to change our shorts. Whatever. But I like them all. I have no problem with it. Ryback's my homie. And who's the best Mexican wrestler ever? ... Eddie. Agree. Jonathan Mann, do you think The Rock was the best heel of all time? And do you think his promo in Toronto when he talked crap on the Maple Leaf was the best promo a heel superstar can cut? I don't know if The Rock was the best heel of all time. I did love Hollywood Rock, and your promo you're referring to is one of my favorite promos of all time, where he's talking about he's making fun of Toronto, and he just keeps saying he wanted to be here in Toronto, and the crowd goes crazy. He's like, oh, Toronto, he said Toronto, that's where we live. We live in Toronto. Oh, The Rock has come back to run his mouth on all their candy asses. That's one of my favorite heel pro. I don't know if it's the best heel one, but it's probably my favorite one. And if you had to choose between that promo and Punk's legendary shoot promo, which one was better? Well, they're completely different things. The Rock was a heel that was like it was a humorous thing. It was funny. He was that kind of heel that, he was talking crap about your city, but you still kind of had to help but laugh because it's hilarious. Compared to Punk's, who was him just airing his mind, like calling out backstage stuff, And either one, like, it's hard to judge which one's better because either one you can kind of say, because the big gripe people have is, well, it's a cheap way to get heat. So obviously, The Rock, he's calling out the city he's in. Obviously, they're going to boo if talking about their city. Punk, he was like bringing up all this smart mark stuff. So obviously, people are going to freak out that he's saying that. So, it's not like that, But I think I would probably say Punk's, though, just because, if it was back then, not really a big deal. But just because of the era we're in and what it started for about a month before, Triple H ruined CM Punk, and now they have him be just boring and not be able to say anything, which is not his fault. But so I just say Punk just because it kind of caught us all off guard just because of literally what era we're in. But again, if it was back in the day, that's not really a big deal. Whoa, this is a crazy name. Zayloxith. Zayloxith. That's what we're calling it. What would your thoughts on a Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara at a mask versus mask match at WrestleMania? Do you think it'd be a good match? It's pretty clear to all of you that watch that I'm not a big Rey Mysterio fan, and saying that's an understatement. I don't really like him that much. Sin Cara, I was really excited when he first came, and then when I actually saw him, he just kind of doesn't fit what I wanted him to, I guess. He still does some crazy stuff, but the thought of this match at first was here. I'd still like to see it, but it's not really as excited as I was back in the day. I'm sure if they worked on it, it could be a really good match. If they had time to, make it good. But I'd have no problem seeing it. I'd think it would be pretty cool. Jose Cal94. When John Cena gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, what response do you think he will get at the Hall of Fame ceremony? I'm sure we'll get Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks. That's who he is. That's who his character is. That's what we're going to remember him for. So I'm sure we'll get Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks. And will he make Raw or SmackDown appearances after he is retired? Or possibly a dream match with a young talent, considering he says he loves the WWE so much? I'm sure Cena will be one of those guys that comes back every now and then. And hey, he has his duty now. We had Hogan Rock. Well, technically we had Macho Man Hogan, Warrior Hogan, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, the big kind of match at WrestleMania. Hogan Rock, Rock Cena, Cena who? Cena has his obligation to fill to keep that line going. So I can see him as a guy that comes back a lot, though. Martin37. Who do you think should end the Undertaker's streak? Can't be The Rock. It always can't be The Rock. You guys are ridiculous. I would have said CM Punk, before they turned him babyface and just ridiculous. I mean, not so much before they turned him babyface because he was cool as a face, but now it's just, I don't know. I don't really want to see that anymore. I'll take this. Oh, I was wearing my Undertaker shirt. That's depressing. I have my Undertaker streak shirt somewhere, but who do you think can't be The Rock, huh? I don't know. Kane maybe, just because that would. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the reason Kane was brought in was to screw it. Kane beats him in a buried alive match. Whatever. Also, who do you think is going to win the series between the Lakers and Thunder? Ooh, this is a tough question. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Thunder will defeat the Lakers. Wow, this is really old. Like, I'm thinking through this, but I'm going to go on a limb and say the Thunder will defeat the Lakers, then defeat the Spurs and face the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Will Ferrell, number 1. Do you like the Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, and Michael Myers Halloween movies? Never saw the Halloween movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger used to scare the crap out of me as a kid. Jason Voorhees didn't scare me as much, but that dude is a badass. Freddy vs. Jason was a good time. And what is your favorite scary movie? What is my favorite scary movie? Oh my gosh. Bambi. AL Diesel 18. What is your favorite title reign of all time? Mine has got to be JBL. Probably top 5 heels of all time, and the only time when the Smackdown title was more important than the Raw title. Can't argue with you there. Favorite title reign of all time. Well, I don't think I've ever been more excited than when CM Punk won it at Money in the Bank 2011. Even though that didn't last long at all, that title victory is definitely way up there. But I don't know. That's hard. One of Cena's. Those are all good, right? Sweet Lie 18. What political party are you for? Barack Obama. What are you going to school for? Sports broadcasting. What's your top favorite Rock returns? 2010, because that's why I started watching it. It freaked me out. When he returned and helped Eugene, because I just felt bad for the little guy. When he returned to help Mick Foley, WrestleMania 20. When he returned from making the Mummy. All of them. I mean, I don't know. My favorite one is probably when he came back after 7 years, and after that, it's all just downhill. What's the best football game you've ever watched? It's not really a big time. It's not like a playoff game or a Super Bowl or anything. So a lot of you probably won't know this unless you're a Falcons or Bears fan, just like that. But Falcons Bears. Falcons are leading the whole game. Kyle Orton goes down, boom, throws a touchdown, takes the lead. Final minute of the game, they get their first lead. And he's sitting on the bench, just looking around like, yeah. Squib kick, Harry Douglas fields it, runs it sideways, gets some yards, tackle with 8 seconds left. Matt Ryan takes a snap, homie in his face, boom! Out route to Michael Jenkins down the field, 1 second left. Bop! Field goal wins the game. Again, it was just a regular season game, so if you're not really a Falcons or Bears fan, you probably remember that. But that's the best one I've ever watched, my favorite one. Orton Straight Brother, if you can only watch one between a Miami Heat Game 7 Finals or Orton versus Rock for the WWE title, which would you pick? Well, actually, this is easy. Actually, it's not easy. That depends. That is really hard because now if the Heat are going to lose, I don't want to watch it. Because I already dealt with that last year, and that was heartbreaking. There was tears flowing for weeks. Orton Rock, I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to be mad who wins. I'm not going to be mad who loses. But the Heat, if the Heat are winning that game, up here. I love Orton, I love Rock, but If I know the Heat are winning that game, it's up here. But that's a tough one, because if the Heat lose and I miss Orton Rock to watch the Heat lose, I'm having a rough day. I'm having a rough day. So let's just leave it at that, because I hope that never comes to that. I would record Orton Rock, to be honest. D96MR. What are your thoughts on the new G.I. Joe movie being pushed back to a release date of March of 2013 or to convert the film to 3D? That, and because Channing Tatum got killed off and they wanted to rewrite that. But I think it's hilarious. Like, the screen testing, like, we like Channing Tatum. So they are going to rewrite the movie, I guess. But yeah. Have you guys checked out the official trailer for WWE 13? I did see it. It looks pretty awesome, I'll be honest. It looks wild. I remember how excited we were about WWE 12. I actually bought it. Jake didn't. So don't let him tell you that he's excited for WWE 13. I don't care what he says. And do you think Mr. Kennedy could have been a future main eventer in WWE if he had not been fired? Again, I wasn't watching during this time, but from I know, Orton and Triple H were kind of in on this, which I'm shocked by. But watching him as Mr. Anderson as much as I have on TNA, I don't know. I'm sure they would have tried, but would it have worked? Who knows? You know, I'm cool with him. He's not like my favorite guy. I watch TNA for Bobby Roode and Austin Aries, not in that order. Austin Aries and Bobby Roode in that order. So I'm not really the right guy to ask about TNA guys, but yeah. Well, this has been that Q&A. 21 minutes. But we're out of questions now, so leave your questions below. Subscribe up above. Like this video. Go back and watch other videos that we've done. And take care, and we'll talk to you later. See you for... I'm going to post this on Wednesday, so Jake's Smackdown review in all likelihood. Goodbye.